Jude Romano, welcome to the Insurance Goat Show. We have another episode where we give entrepreneurs a chance to tell their story. And today, we have with us Eisenberg, the photographer.
Eisenberg. I like that. You know what? Don't even use my name. Just call me Eisenberg from this point forward, and we are good.
Absolutely.
Just Eisenberg. I'm changing my whole thing now. My website, my Instagram, everything. Just Eisenberg.
There we go. Remember where you heard it first. Jude Romano, the Insurance Goat, now impacts entrepreneurs' new business names. How you doing?
First Italian named Eisenberg. It's going to be great.
I mean, come on. Does he not have the Eisenberg look? Where's the drug stashed anyway?
I can't talk about that.
So, guys, super honored and excited to have Mr. Phil Siciliano here today. He's not Italian. That last name is actually Irish.
It's Irish, yes.
One of the best in the game. People who are getting married and having events. Most of you already know who this guy is. I have the honor and privilege of sitting next to him. And he's a lot nicer without the camera, by the way. You know, he's a little, right? He's a little bossy with the camera. No, maybe.
Okay. I see how this is. All right.
No.
Have me on your show to call me a jerk. I like that. Great.
No.
Nice.
So Phil, honestly, man, you know, I'm not in the photo game. I don't do what you do, but what you do is extremely inspiring. In my opinion, I believe what you do is an art and takes a very high level of talent. And so I really I commend you on all your work. And I would ask you, how did this all begin for you?
So it's actually a interesting story. I was a school teacher for 5.5 years. I met my wife. Well, I actually met my wife when I was 13. You know, we hooked up.
Right.
You know how Staten Island high school relationships last. They're about...
You chew a piece of gum and you go put your tongue in 2 circles for 30 seconds? Is that...
We went with each other.
Yeah. Yes, you went
That's
with
what
each
we
other.
did. We went with each other.
I go, you go.
Yeah.
I went with them.
Well, it's the past tense. You know, I went, you go. There you go. So we met in high school, and then later on after college, we reconnected, and my wife was a teacher, and I was in between jobs. So she said, you should become a sub. You know, I used to go up there, I would volunteer, but I wasn't getting paid for it. So I got my sub license, I became a teacher, went back to school, got my master's degree, and halfway through, my wife bought me a camera for my birthday. I started playing with it. I said, you know what? I think I want to start a small photography business. This way, when you get pregnant, I could take pictures on the weekend, teach during the week. 2 good jobs. One thing led to another. My first year, I booked 6 weddings. My second year, I booked 12. My third year, I booked 64 weddings. Oh, shit. And I've been shooting 60-plus weddings a year ever since. That was 10 years ago. So this all happened because my wife bought me a camera, and everything just came through.
That's actually a pretty cool story, not for nothing. For people who don't know, pretty cool story.
I was never classically trained on how to take a picture. I've always been a believer. I mean, this might be because I'm a thick-headed Sicilian. I don't believe in reading books to learn how to use something. I'm like, put it in front of me, and that's how I'll learn.
What kind of teacher were you?
So I was an elementary school teacher.
Okay.
And I taught everything from kindergarten up until 6th grade.
Interesting. So Let me ask you this, and this is a fact. It's not even an opinion, but you are known right now to be, if not one of the best in the game of what you do right now. And so my question to you is, how does that feel?
Well, I don't think I'm the best. Because when you think you're the best, you kind of have this chip on your shoulder and you walk around like, you allowed to curse on this thing or no?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I got to make sure. I don't want to ruffle any feathers out there in the internet universe. But I don't think I'm the best. I don't like to walk around like I'm that asshole who thinks who the fuck he is. And that's just not me. I did go through a phase where I thought I was the best. And it wasn't until I had to have a conversation with myself and say, look, you're good, but stop with the nonsense. That's when I started to become better.
Let's talk a little bit further on that, and I really like that, and I'll tell you why. Because as you're stating that, I'm relating to that in my field as well. So what clicked in your head at that point where there was a time where you thought you were the best, and you said, you know what, Phil, let me slow it down a little bit. Let me not think like this. This isn't the right way to think.
So I told you I had like this superstardom. 6 weddings, 12 weddings, 64. Okay. It's kind of unheard of to do that much work and get that many clients that quick. So it's almost like the rock star effect where you have this local band, they're amazing, and then they get a record deal and they think who the hell they are.
Right.
So I was going through this motion of, well, if everybody wants me, then I guess my shit don't stink.
Right.
Maybe I am the fucking best. Maybe this is just so amazing that... And I started looking at my work. And I started looking at my attitude. And I started thinking, if you're really that good, why can it be better? And then I started seeing that this cockiness and this arrogance that I had to myself, there was no reason for it. So I started to develop, I guess you would say, this humble side to myself, where I started realizing you're very blessed to do what you do. You get to go to people's functions and affairs that are, in some instances, the most important day of their life. And you get to freeze that moment in time for them.
Amen.
So you're not this arrogant prick. You should be this lucky bastard who gets to do this. And when I started thinking like that, everything changed. That's when I started believing, you know what, maybe you are really good, because the work started to show more. Sure, the work was always good, right? Because that's what gets you clients. But it's when I started to really believe in it, everything came to what you see now.
I absolutely love what you just shared, because I'm just such a firm believer that when you believe in what you do and you lead with your heart, that's when your best results show. And you've just expressed that.
Yeah. You know, you can't be the best without figuring out what it was like to be the worst, but not the worst at what you do, but the worst in the way you act, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely. Attitude's everything.
You have to know what it feels like to be good and bad at the same time, but not just at the physical part of it. You have to know what it's like at the mental part of it. And unfortunately, in today's day and age, we have way too many people in every industry that you see. They just want superstardom.
Yeah.
They just want to be known as the best. They just want to be known as, there's nothing I can't do that he or she can't do.
Right.
But they don't want to put the work in to get there.
Instant gratification.
And the problem is, you have to be at the low point in order to get to the high point. And you have to realize, I wasn't as good as I was last week. So there's a term that I go by. There's a very famous wedding photographer. His name's Jerry Johonis. And I heard this many, many years ago when I first started, and I've lived by this. You don't have to be the best. You just have to be better than last week.
So it goes back to the saying, like, where people say, like, make yourself a little bit better every day, every day, right? Same concept. No, I mean, listen, hearing what you just expressed right now shows me how much control you have over your attitude. And for me, that's everything. If you wake up feeling shitty and you take that through the day, your day will be shitty.
Absolutely. It's the law of attraction. What you put out into the universe is going to come back to you.
Amen.
So you want to do something? Look, every day you get a fresh start, right? People is like, what's the greatest blessing you have? Your family, your this, your that. The greatest blessing we have every day, we woke up today.
Yeah, right. That's true. Yeah.
You wake up tomorrow, you're even luckier.
Yeah, that's true.
So start with waking up. Then from there, tell your family you love them. Then you got the rest of the fucking day to do whatever you want to take over the world.
I got to ask you this because I know we're the same age. By the way, when's your birthday?
December 14th.
December 14th.
I share my birthday with Nostradamus.
Nostradamus, December 14th. So I'm technically I'm September, October, November. I'm about 3 or 4 months older than you. But a lot of what you're speaking and just sharing right now, I feel like it's things that I've been saying to myself in my head over the last few months. Would you say, I'm just curious, would you say that when you turned 40, the way of thinking has started to drastically change for you?
I think when I turned 40, I feel like my auto warranty on my body expired and everything started breaking down.
Yeah.
I think my mindset on everything started changing was probably when my daughter was born.
And how old is she now?
She's 8.
Okay.
So about 8 years ago, I started thinking to myself, how can I facilitate a lifestyle for my wife and my child so that they can never ask or want for anything else? But what I will say is, if you go back, I started this by saying this whole thing started because my wife bought me a camera for my birthday. I'm a firm believer that behind every successful man is a woman. My wife has been the one behind me since day one. You look at every single picture I post, you look at every single thing I do, she's my number one fan. And I think it's crucial to have that support system, because if you don't have the support system, you don't physically think, am what I'm doing, is this going well? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I still go to work every single weekend, and before I leave, I say to her, you think I'm going to do good today? It's like it's my first day of school.
Really?
Babe, do you think I'm going to do good today? And she looks at me and she'll say, Philly, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you do this every single time you go to work. I'm like, yeah, but you think this one's going to be good?
Right.
She knows I could produce. I know I could produce, but it's just that little bit of my wife telling me, you're going to do great today.
It's a reassurance.
Exactly.
Reassurance. I have a really cool question for you.
Ask me whatever you want.
But I have to ask you something that's at the top of my plate. You're wearing these glasses that, appear that, I know we have bright lights in here for the show, but it's not sunny in here.
Actually, these lights are really bright.
They are pretty bright. Today is 420. Did you light up a full joint before you came on the show today?
I'm going to be honest with you. I wish I did.
Okay.
But I haven't smoked in over 18 years.
Well, okay. Well, that's fine whether you did or didn't. I just thought the glasses was, to hide the red eyes for 420. Phil, does this even work for you?
My job? No. Absolutely not. What's worked for me is figuring out what the next thing is going to be. Because being a photographer, forget being a photographer, being an artist, right? You never think you've done your best work. People ask me all the time, Phil, what's the best picture you've ever taken? And I always tell them I haven't taken it yet. Really?
Is that real?
How will I know the best picture I've ever taken if my life's not over? I'm not saying I want it to end, but just saying. There are favorites, but the best picture I've ever taken, haven't done it yet.
Okay, so
because I'm not the best I could possibly be.
But we could change that question up a little bit. We could say, share some of the best pictures you have taken thus far.
Well, photography is all perspective. I go out every weekend and I take all these pictures of brides. I've done commercial shoots for brands like Harry Winston. I've done press photos for celebrities. But to me, the best pictures I've ever taken, it's my wife and my daughter. Photography is subjective and it's perspective. So what means a lot to me won't necessarily mean a lot to you. It's all perception.
You're a smart man. You're a lot smarter than I thought. Well, you were a teacher. Wait, Phil.
Well, saying I was a teacher in today's day and age, I don't want to ruffle any feathers with the teachers out there, but
we won't even go there. Phil, what do you love most about what you do, and what do you hate most about what you do?
What do I hate? Let's start with the hate part. I don't really think I hate anything about what I do. Do I hate driving long distances? Sure. Do I hate that I have plantar fascia in my ankles now because of standing on my feet for so long? Absolutely. Do I physically hate anything about my job? Absolutely not. Because if I hated it, I wouldn't be doing it. What do I love about my job? It's the same answer I give everybody. I get to freeze a second in time for you that you get to keep for the rest of your life. Now, granted, there's a million photographers out there. Millions of them. Some are good, some are bad. But I like to know the fact that I can freeze time in such a way that people look at it and they always have that oh shit moment. And what I mean by oh shit, it's when you look at the picture and go, oh shit, that's me.
So I'll tell you this. Obviously, I follow you on social. What's the hashtag we're using?
Make it look different.
Make it look different. Make it look different. Love it. Follow you on social. Seeing you post random pics of weddings you're doing, right? Has nothing to do with me. I don't know who the hell the people are that are getting married. But every time I look at the picture, I say, this motherfucker, he's fucking good. Yeah, true story. And I just look at the pictures. I'm like, my God. Again, I have no reason to like stroke you right now, right? But I look at the picture. I'm like, wow, this guy's good, man. He's good. You're on point, man. You're where you need to be. And I love the fact that you said there's nothing you hate about what you do other than the driving aspect. But there's a cure for that. A guy at your level, you just hire a driver. And that's it. And I think you do have a driver, right?
I don't, but actually now, because I need something to do while I'm driving, there's this amazing podcast it's called The Insurance Goat Show.
Oh!
You could just listen to it, get into a groove. He's got all these guests. It's amazing.
You know what, Phil? I love that you just shared that. And, let's take it a step further, guys. For a lot of you that don't know, Mr. Siciliano, a.k.a. Heisenberg, is not just a photographer. He has other hidden talents that you may not know about. So, Phil, we were doing a little skit before we went live, and I absolutely love it. And please share that recording with me because I'm saving it and I'm playing it for every moment that I get stressed in my life. So, Phil, why don't you tell the audience about this hidden little gem that you have in your Patagonia pocket?
So when I was a kid, I used to prank my grandparents, my aunts, my uncles. I happened to have the ability to impersonate Mr. Movie Phone. Now, there's quite a bit of people out there that won't know who Mr. Movie Phone are because, like you said, we did turn 40 and we're kind of becoming like the OGs.
Yeah.
We're getting old. Let's face it.
Yep.
These 30-year-olds probably have no idea who Mr. Movie Phone is.
But and even if they don't, sounds cool as hell.
But when you were a kid and you had to get a call late at night, you dialed 777 film and you waited for somebody to beep in so the phone wouldn't ring so you wouldn't get in trouble by your parents for the phone ringing at 2 o'clock in the morning while you were waiting for that girl to call. So I began to impersonate this Mr. Movie Phone. And it later went on into my career. I used to work in radio. I worked for the Elvis Duran show for 3 years. And they would have me impersonate Mr. Movie Phone. So maybe what we could do right now is we can do a message for you as Mr. Movie Phone. And you could use this for whatever you want. So let's try that. What do you want me to say? Let's start there.
So here's the words, and you run with it. The insurance goat and... Rated R. I love the rated R feature.
Rated R.
And Jude Romano, sexiest man, goat on the street. The end.
Okay. All right, let's go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hello. This is Mr. Movie Phone. You have selected the insurance goat. Rated R. If you're looking for Jude Romano, the sexiest man on the street, press 1 now. Thank you for calling.
It's phenomenal. When we're done, tell me how much I got to Venmo you for that. It's phenomenal. That was amazing. Phil, cool ass talent, by the way. Who's someone who inspires you?
Someone who inspires me. I know this is going to sound repetitive because I've said it a few times, but I'll be honest with you. My biggest inspiration right now is probably my wife. And I know most people will be like, your wife. I've watched my wife go through a lot of hardship as of lately.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she lost her mom a few years back, and I watched her bounce back from that. But ultimately, the main reason why I'm here in Little Silver, where I told you where, you know, we moved, is because of her. My wife is the most goal-oriented person I've ever met in my life. When she sees something she wants, I've never seen someone in my life be able to just go get it and it's done. And not only is it done, it's done well. So I learned so much from her in that aspect. Not for it to be a cheap plug, but she just started a really cool Instagram page called That Peach Lifestyle. That Peach Life. Really? Is it That Peach Life? She's going to fucking kill me if I get this wrong. She is going to
kill you.
Hold on, let's see.
Let's look it up.
Am I allowed to go on the phone right now?
Yeah, go on, because I'm going to give it a follow too.
Hold on. Hold on. Let's check this out. Hold on. I know it's That Peach Life. Hold on. She's going to kill me. Sorry, babe, if you're watching this right now. It is called That Peach Lifestyle.
That Peach Life?
I was
you were right on the first time.
time.
What's your wife's first name?
Her name is Lauren.
Lauren. This guy loves you. I'm getting jealous. He loves you a lot. That Peach Lifestyle.
That Peach Lifestyle, yes.
That Peach Lifestyle.
Very cool shit. She's been putting up some really awesome stuff. But to make a long story short, you know, I'm not joking. When I say that my wife is a big inspiration, I've never met a more goal-oriented person who wants something done a certain way, that she obtains it every single time. And when you're an entrepreneur and you want things to work, to have someone in your life that constantly just gets everything right all the time, it's an inspiration to watch.
Well, that's what the show's about, my friend. That's what the show's about. You shared a message about the greatest thing that you achieve when taking a picture. Share that message one more time. It was being able to capture a moment and freeze.
So what we do is we freeze a moment in time.
So, Phil, you being the expert and the man that you are, and me being the insurance goat, Sebastian, I know you don't like when people call themselves goats. Fuck you, I'm the goat. Phil, I would love for you to capture a moment in time of the insurance goat. Since you're the man with the camera, I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you to take this. And remember, you said, I haven't taken my best picture yet. Well, guess what, Phil? I've just fucking fulfilled it for you.
Okay.
Your best picture yet.
So right now, we're going to give me this camera, and I'm going to take a picture of you. Let's take off these sunglasses.
You want my legs crossed? Talk to me about pose. Treat me like I'm getting married right now.
You like you're getting married.
Phil, this is my fucking day. It's my day. How do you want me to pose? You want me to go fucking sit on a railing outside?
What I want you to do first is put your balls away from those short shorts.
He took the glasses off.
And I took my glasses off. I'm seeing a little too fucking much now. I'll tell you what. I know this seems like on the spot. Why don't we do this as a follow-up? Why don't I actually take your picture? Why don't I do a professional headshot of you the way that I know how to?
Okay.
Instead of having the prop camera, because I'll be honest, I probably wouldn't do it with this thingy anyway, or most of the stuff that's here. Let's do it the right way, and then we'll have a follow-up where you say, this is what he actually did.
Well, I like that, and I'll tell you why. I need a new profile pic. So when I change my profile pic, I'm tagging you in the profile pic, and I'm going to say, thank you, Phil.
Well, maybe what we could do is we'll do a Dude-War session.
Yeah.
No, I'm totally fucking
with you. We're not doing that no.
We'll do something nice for your wife.
Yes. Yeah, that's a fair trade, cool trade. We'll do it the right way. We'll get a good pic. And then when social media, when it goes viral and they're liking it, loving it, and sharing and saving my photo, I'm going to tag you on every single time.
Well, that's cool. I'm going to hand this thing back off to my man over here. If we're going to do, well, that's another thing about me. If you're going to do something, you do it right.
Amen.
I don't like doing things half-assed. Never have, never will. I just started a video business, and I waited forever to do it. Mm-hmm. Reason I did it that way, I wanted it to look a certain way. I will never just put something out for the sake of having it out there.
Right.
If it's not done right, don't do it.
No, I'm with that. I agree 100%. Can't half-ass something. I don't know what kind of camera that was passed to you, but...
That was a good one. It's not that it was a bad one. It's just, if we're going to do it the right way.
One of my questions actually to you was, and this is more for the young entrepreneurs who are out there and trying to come into the photography game, the video game, etc. What's your camera of choice while you're out there working?
I'm also a firm believer in. You ever hear that expression? It's not about the carpenter the tool you get to build the house. It's the carpenter.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're just starting out, all you need is a camera, because it's what's coming out of here that's going to produce what's in front of you. I could give you the best camera in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean you're going to take the best picture in the world.
That's true. That's
I've been through so many cameras over the last 10 years that what I'm using right now, I probably won't be using 2 years from now. It's all just a technical means to what's going to produce what's in front of you at that moment.
How good of pictures can one take with an iPhone today?
I am the worst fucking iPhone photographer you will ever meet in your life. And as someone who knows what he's doing, it all depends on the person that's using it. I know people that can take amazing pictures on the iPhone. Although I don't believe that half these billboards you see around the city are taken with an iPhone.
Right.
The pictures look too well done. I mean, have you ever seen somebody take an iPhone picture where like, wow, that's amazing?
I mean, I've seen good ones, but nothing that blew me like,
Good ones. I'm not talking about on a computer. I'm saying, have you ever had a friend or somebody hand you an iPhone and go, look at this picture I took, and you were just blown away?
No, never blown away. I've seen some nice ones, but never blown away.
In my opinion, an iPhone doesn't take a picture like a regular camera. Everything is this HDR technology.
Right.
So you point your iPhone at the beach, for example. Everything's going to be in focus. The sky, the water, the sand, the people. That's not how a camera works. Anybody who knows how a camera works is going to say, how the fuck is everything in focus? That don't work like that. But my man over here, he'll tell you, that's not how a camera works.
Fair point. I asked you moments ago, who is someone who inspires you? And your answer was Lauren.
Yes.
I now ask, who's your favorite artist?
My favorite artist? In what genre? Anything?
Who's someone who comes to mind?
I probably get a lot of flack for this, but I think Kanye West is a fucking genius.
Yeah, I actually love that answer because it's probably one of my favorite.
And I'm not talking about, the recent Kanye West stuff and all the stuff that's gotten him in trouble, but you look at Kanye West as an individual. The man revolutionized a sneaker industry. The man, in my opinion, revolutionized the music industry. He always did something that was different, where at first it wasn't accepted, but then after became the norm. I mean, you really want to think about it? The man figured out how to get out of a contract with an Instagram tweet. I mean, that's a whole nother thing, but
right.
There's a lot about him that is amazing. There's a lot about him that's not amazing, but yeah, Kanye West is an artist.
So if I was Mr. Lewis down in Beverly Hills right now, Mr. Lewis films and where's he from? He films on Rodeo Drive. If I was Mr. Lewis right now and I said, hey, Phil, if you had to choose a rapper to hang out with for the day, your answer would be Kanye
West.
No doubt. Good answer. Phil, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Right here. Doing exactly what I'm doing. Something that I can do physically with my talent to make myself money.
You mentioned a moment ago that you're now engaging in the video business, which is pretty cool because I love the fact. Why wouldn't it happen? Where do you see that going in the next 10 years?
Well, 10 years ago, I had just started a photography business. Let me say that again. 10 years ago, I had just started a photography business, and I had no idea where that was going to go.
True.
I started out with 6 weddings.
Right.
Now here we are with the video business, and when I say we just started, I mean we just started. We did our first video the day after Thanksgiving, and we just shot another one 3 weeks ago. So it's all slowly starting. So if the formula worked for one, why can't it work for another? The only difference is now we have all this experience behind us.
Sure. What's your daughter's name?
Daisy May.
When Daisy May gets to an age where she's starting to engage in career path choices, how would you feel about her going into the business?
If my daughter decided to become a photographer, I would fully support it because it's art. Now, being good at something, that's a whole nother part of it. But as long as she enjoyed what she was doing, I'll support whatever she wants to do.
What would you say is the most impactful piece of your business?
Most impactful piece. Have you ever seen somebody cry when they look at a photo? Have you ever cried when you looked at a photo?
I have. Not hysterical, but,
so
emotional.
One of the most impactful parts of my job, it's kind of morbid, but at the same time, it's extremely gratifying because I know how much it'll mean to people. Unfortunately, we as human beings, we don't last forever. And often you'll go through photos and you'll see pictures of your grandparents, your older aunts and uncles, or people who just aren't with us anymore. And to know that I could take a picture of somebody at their happiest that's going to live on forever in that one photo, that's the most impactful part of my job. Because I know, like I said, we freeze time. And when is frozen time the most important? When we don't have it anymore. So to be able to show somebody a picture of, let's say, their grandmother when, they were on their wedding day, or a picture of their grandmother and their mother together when they were younger, something you would never be able to experience, but it's done in such a tasteful, respectful way. There's nothing more gratifying than that. You had a part and a piece of somebody else's history that they're going to have forever.
I will say this. How many episodes have we recorded? At least like 9, 10 at this point. I'm going to say this. This has probably been one of the most impactful episodes for me. And the reason is because everything you're saying, I feel it. You're not just saying it just to say it. I feel it. And you see what you just shared about, capturing a moment that you could freeze time. People out there right now, no one's expressed it to me, but I know that there's people out there who say, this guy Jude, he owns an insurance brokerage. What is he doing with this podcast? Why did he start this thing called the Insurance Goat Show? And I'll tell you, Phil, what's interesting is I don't expect everyone to understand it, because the people who don't understand it are the people who don't understand purpose. And so the reality is, and where I'm going with this show actually has a purpose. And you, my friend, on this episode have brought my purpose to the surface, because you've expressed all of the love and hard work and everything that pushes you to be who you are. You've expressed all of the details of what it takes to be an entrepreneur. You've expressed the things that have humbled you, the things that have added to your success. And for me, just so you know, my takeaway, I've always been fascinated with business. I worked at JP Morgan Chase. I dealt with business clients. That was my role. This platform gives me an opportunity to speak to entrepreneurs and learn more about their business. I never knew the story before today that Phil Siciliano, one of the best in the game, was a teacher who got a camera as a gift from his wife, which then led him to be one of the most talked about photographers in the tri-state. For me, that story is absolutely fascinating, and I'm so thankful that you shared it with me today.
Well, I appreciate that, and I'm going to tell you 2 things now. One, to have the ability to have an outlet where you can express yourself and give back to a diverse community of people who are interested to learn how other successful entrepreneurs got their business off the ground. One, that's an amazing thing. Two, if you enjoy doing something, who gives a shit what everybody else thinks? And then lastly, to all the people that are sitting here saying, why does this guy have a podcast? Why is he? I'm going to tell you 2 words. Second word's probably not a word, but it's hyphenated. Fuck them.
Oh, I like that. That's actually, that might be the new hashtag at the end of every Insurance Goat Show post. No, seriously, really love it, man. I really, and I mean this, I love where your head is at. I love the alignment on your thought process. I took a lot away from today, and believe it or not, whether you know it or not, you've taught me a lot today. Probably biggest takeaway for me was the movie phone. Movie phone was phenomenal. I'm going to share that recording that you're going to share it with me with probably 30 people today through a text message, and they'll hate us for this. And then actually you gave me a really cool post idea. As we capture our still photos, as we do with every guest on our exit, if we don't mind, I literally want to verbatim, I want to say, had a moment to freeze time. And I don't know if I'm wording that exactly right. Had a moment to freeze time with the one and only Phil Siciliano.
Well, it's been a pleasure being here with you, Jude. I look forward to coming back one day and talking to you again, because there's a lot of stories up in this thing that can just go and go and go.
Oh, you gave me like 20 ideas. One, you're going to come back as, you might come back as Eisenberg, the video guy now. Okay. You might have...
maybe next time I won't have sunglasses on.
Maybe you won't have sunglasses on.
I don't know.
Maybe your wife might come on one day as an entrepreneur. I don't know. But I have one last question for you, which I believe I already know the answer to. But it's literally my exit question for every guest, because it's 2 most impactful words that mean everything to me. And I'm going to ask you, what keeps Phil Siciliano going? What keeps you going?
Well, I think after listening to this podcast, you know what it's going to be, and that's my family. Yeah. Every single day that I go out and do this, they're the ones I do it for.
Guys, this has been a phenomenal episode. Phenomenal for me. Phil Siciliano, one of the best in the game. Check him out. Look at his pictures. Stunning, beautiful. It's not just a picture. It's artwork. Freeze those moments. Capture those memories. And let's keep going. Jude Romano, the Insurance Goat. As always, keep going.